right. Good morning, or whatever time you're listening to this. Welcome to the Revenue Agency Podcast. My name is Brittney Hall, and I'm joined by my partner in life, business, love, Ryan Hall.
Are we partners?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's funny when people say, like, this is my partner. I'll ask them, I'll go, in business or in like a relationship? Because anymore, that was kind of a thing. And maybe it's still a thing. You know, people are like, it's my partner just because they weren't married. It's like, just say it's your fucking boyfriend. Just because you're 40, like, it doesn't all of a sudden, like, oh, it's my partner and we're too good for marriage because we don't believe in that. It's like, no, you just aren't married, but you're dating. But if like a business partner, gay people do that too. They're like, my partner. It's like, just say it's your boyfriend or your girlfriend or whatever. Why
I
does
wonder
it
where
have
that
to be
came from.
everything?
My
Where did that
partner.
come from? It's like you know what it is? It's like this political correct, like, I don't want to be put in a box. It's like, if you're not married or engaged, it's your boyfriend or your girlfriend. Or if you are engaged, it's your fiance. And if you're married, it's your husband or wife, spouse. Like, let's just, like, why do we have to complicate everything?
And if you're in business, it's your partner.
Business partner. It's my partner. Yeah. It's like, what the fuck? I mean, we are married, but we're also partners in a lot of things. We're
Hmm.
business partners. It's weird. But there's probably also a lot of married people who are like, no, they're not my partner because they suck. They don't help me with shit. So there's that.
Also that.
Also that. Okay. Well, what are we here to talk about today? Ryan and I have a topic because, you know, life things, our daily life, the shit we deal with, that we see, that we encounter, we like to talk about it. And there's a lot of parallels between just like parenting, life, just doing life around people and business. And one thing that Ryan and I feel a lot of passion around is resourcefulness and being self-sufficient and the ability to figure things out. And I was writing a post just for my social medias today about the ability to figure things out is one of the greatest skills that you can have. And I feel like our generation is maybe one of the last to really have to be resourceful because education has changed, technology has changed. And because I'm thinking like on the fly, why has resourcefulness kind of gone away? And I honestly think that it's because technology is just, we can just ask all these questions at the touch of a button and we don't have to actually think through things anymore or go look it up in a book. Like we don't have to go find the answer. We can just find the answer quicker. So I think our brains aren't having to search for things anymore. What do you
Well,
think
I
it is?
I think you touched on that people don't have, you said you don't have to think. I don't think people think much anymore. Maybe they haven't for a
Yeah.
while, but we don't have to think. We go, uh, well, what's this or what's that? And you just Google it. Boom, instantly it's right there. So I
Yeah.
think our brains have been trained to just immediately have answers without having to think about anything. But sometimes ChatGPT isn't going to give you the answer. Google isn't going to give you the answer. You have
Yeah.
to use this thing up here for our listeners.
Yeah.
I'm pointing to my brain. You have to engage that and think and figure things out. Be resourceful,
Yeah.
like Brittany said. And I think that we as a people haven't done that in so long.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's very good at it anymore.
No, I mean, we've worked with people who are older than us even, and Ryan and I are both very resourceful, and it's probably because in a work environment we've been in either the top one in our position or in a leadership position for years. I mean, gosh, I've been leading people in certain settings since I was 18. Shit, I was leading people in high school. I was always just like wanted to be in charge and lead things. But what comes with that is that you usually know everything. Like you know the board better than anything else. Like I'm thinking about like seeing the whole from like a 30,000-foot view and being able to know all the pieces and how they work and how they affect each other, whether it's in a business, a project, like whatever. And so because we're so resourceful, people would always come to us and be like, well, where do I find this? Where's that? Where's that? Instead of going and looking for it first. And I remember we worked in a company and the boss would go, just because they have the answer does not mean that you get to bog down their time hitting them all the time with all these questions. They have a job to do. It is not to figure things out for you. Be resourceful. And he would say that over and over and over again. Be resourceful, be resourceful. And so that started to become our line to people. Like, have you been resourceful? Like, are you being resourceful before you come and stop me in whatever I'm doing and taking me off track because you are just being lazy, you know?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
do know. I remember that situation clearly.
Yeah.
Um, I wonder what it is about why we're resourceful.
Well, I
I mean,
know
we're
as a
not
kid.
special, I don't think. It's just
No.
like, I was trying to think about that.
Well, is it potentially okay? So I know for me, I'm the youngest of five. So my oldest sibling was 18 years older than me. And so I saw my parents when I was little, my parents were raising a lot of teenagers, right? Like through the different things. And, my brother, who's closest to me in age, is 3 years older than me. So just watched everybody else screw up, get yelled at, work for my dad because my parents are business owners.
But your oldest brother is 18 years older than you.
Yeah, I said that.
Oh,
Yeah, I said
so
that.
there's a big
There's a
range.
big gap. Yeah. And and I saw my parents' frustrations. I saw my dad getting after my siblings, like, figure it out, think, look for something to do. Like, I shouldn't have to tell you. Like, I heard this stuff as a child. And I think too, it's like I didn't want to get yelled at. So I was always thinking ahead, paying attention, seeing what needed to happen next. And my dad loved working with me and having me help him when I was a kid because I was always like, okay, we keep repeating the same process, like say in a building project. And so I was like, okay, I know that he's going to need that saw next. So I need to make sure that I unplug the extension cord when he's done with this machine and plug it into the skill saw because he's going to need that. And we need to be loading these boards up on the sawhorses because then he's going to need that. And so I just made his job so much easier because I was thinking ahead. I think that's why I'm probably such a great integrator for people today because of working with my dad as a kid. Like I really understood, okay, how do I make this process easier for him? And I think that's why I love partnering with entrepreneurs because I'm like, I'm going to make your life so much freaking easier because I pay attention. And so many people that work for people make the employer or the boss's life harder because they can't see what needs to be done. It's like, it's terrible.
Yeah, it's I think there isn't anything that complicated. Just pay
No.
attention. Chances are if we've done it now, we're going to do it again, or we've done it before. So like, just pay attention.
Or
Like,
if you keep having the same problem, how many times do we see that, right? It's like this. We were talking about that the other day. It's like if you see the same problem, the same problem, the same problem, it's like freaking pay attention and avoid the problem and be like, okay,
mm,
this is now a pattern. How are we going to break the pattern?
yeah, be aware of of your surroundings, right? Like this is sports, this is everything. Like look around.
Yeah.
Like look around in your business and it's like, okay, we had this problem that last month. If we have this same problem this month, we got to figure out how to not have it next month.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. We
be
got to be ahead of
aware.
it.
Yeah, be
Yeah.
aware. Think, right?
E-
Think.
Exactly. And
People,
the,
Bob
go ahead.
Proctor said that people mistake mental activity for thinking. Like if I'm scrolling on Facebook or even if I'm reading a book, like it's mental activity. It's not thinking. It's not sitting down in a quiet spot and going, hmm,
Like trying to solve a
I
problem.
don't like what this is. How do we get here? How do we avoid it? And how do we
Yeah.
get past it? Like actually think and then try something out, see if it works.
Yeah. And I talk about my dad sometimes, but like my dad he's been in business for himself for a long time. Very mechanically minded, um really brilliant when it comes to building things, machinery, just troubleshooting problems. Like my dad is like and he loves a problem almost because I think he loves to solve it. Like even we were there at my parents' house this summer and there was this old video game of my brother's that was like a handheld video game that was like a baseball game. And it was like not turning on. My dad's like, well, it probably needs batteries. So he's showing our son, Rory, who's 11 now. Okay, let's start with batteries because it doesn't have power. Okay, put the batteries in. Okay, now it has power, but it's
Pause.
glitching out. What?
Pause. I want everybody to pay attention to start with the most basic, simple problem first.
Yeah.
That's what he
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
Batteries. Nope. Okay, keep going.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, now it has power, but now it's glitching out. So my dad's like, all right, let's open this thing up and look at the wiring. And then he's like, I can't remember what it was, but there was a bad wire so
Oh,
there was
there
a
was,
bad connection,
yeah, had to
with the
resolder a
wires.
wire.
Yeah. And so then my dad's like, well, let me go get my little soldering gun. We'll just replace the wire because the wire is bad. But I mean, and it's silly because it's just this little video game that like Rory's probably going to play for 10 minutes and whatever. But it was like my dad is almost 78 years old, but he keeps himself so sharp because he's always working on fixing things and solving problems. He doesn't just, I think when people retire a lot of times, and or when they've just been an employee for so long and somebody's always told them what to do and then they don't have to think anymore or do things, their brain just quits working effectively. And so I really have a lot of respect for my parents because as they age, they keep in this cycle of thinking and troubleshooting and fixing things. And my dad's always got a project going on, and I think it keeps him really sharp. But at the end of the day, my dad figured that all out. He brings a little soldering gun in and he fixes it, and the game worked. He got it freaking working. This game from like the 90s, this video game. And then Rory was having a blast with it. But it was really cool because Rory got to see my dad and work with my dad alongside and figure out this problem. And then later that same week, Rory was like, I want to get the four-wheeler. I want to ride the four-wheeler. And my dad's like, well, I think the battery might be dead or whatever, but we'll see. My dad's like, I've got a trickle charger on it. We'll see if it'll start up. Wouldn't start up. So my dad's like, well, or it would turn over something, right? There was something. So my dad's like, well, let's put new gas in it. I think the battery, then my dad's like, well, the battery isn't holding a charge, so we need a new battery. So, but along this whole process of fixing something and having our son with him, he's showing him A, how to solve a problem, and B, how to fix something. It's like a really great skill. So our son at 11 is learning this stuff, and he does this stuff with Ryan too. But, yeah, I don't know. It's just like, I was so thankful because I'm like, this is what my dad did with us as kids. And this is why, as an adult, I really know how to fix things. Like Ryan you laugh all the time. Like if I'm trying to get something started, like our leaf blower, it's like a pull start. And, you got to prime it, you got to choke it, and then you got to take the choke off and get it going and make sure it's running. And that stuff's automatic for me because of growing up with my parents the way that I did. Mm-hmm. But there's a lot of adults that don't know how to do that shit.
No. And we can use this as an analogy, right? Jim was fixing a little handheld 1990 baseball game, or it was a four-wheeler, right? Which is an engine, it's a carburetor, it's all this stuff. But it's the process. It isn't, do you know how to fix a carburetor, right? Because a lot of people are like, I don't even know what that is. That doesn't matter. Yeah. It's the process of, okay, I have a problem. I'm going to start with the easiest problem, the easiest possible issue first. It's not that, okay, what's the next possible issue that could be the easiest to fix, right? We're doing that. And it's like, this is business, this is anything, right? It's anything. So we use the analogy of an engine. But I mean, it's like, okay, I'm not closing any sales. Well, hold on. What are all the pieces to close a sale? Am I talking to people? Yes. Okay, good. It's not that one. I have enough people to talk to. What could be next? What am I saying?
How many people that I'm talking to are converting to sales, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Like, what am I saying? Maybe that's the problem. Do the people that that are showing interest, do they have any money, or is it the wrong client, right? Like, it's just, it's this process of breaking down an issue until you go, there it is. That's what I love doing. I love figuring out the problem and then having the solution. And I'm like, yes, I figured it out. I don't care what it is, right? Like,
right. If you think about it, it's the same thing with, for example, our CRM and sending emails. I cannot tell you how many people that are experts, they say, at emails and CRMs or whatever that we consulted with, paid to like try to fix it for us. Like all this stuff, nobody could figure it out. But guess what? But they all gave up and they're like, yeah, it should do it. But they didn't. They were like, no, it should work. Well, it doesn't fucking work.
It doesn't. It didn't.
So Ryan, who is not Mr. Computers or IT or whatever, guess who figured it out?
I don't think I owned a computer until I was probably 30.
Yeah.
Right? I had no reason to own a computer. I didn't want to. Right? But now our partner, Cassie, jokes about how I'm now the IT guy. Listen, I want everybody to listen to this. I don't know computers. I never knew computers. Everybody when I was a kid was like, you need to know computers. I'm like, F that.
Yeah.
I need to know it. I'm not going to. I
Ryan knows
like
engines and
engines.
equipment.
I
Yeah.
know equipment. I know operating and driving. Like that's my specialty, right? But and there was a ton of problems I had to figure out with this method, this troubleshooting method, right?
Yeah.
And it was lights on a log truck. Okay. It's the same thing in our stupid email. It's like, okay, it's not sending email. Who is it not sending to? Okay, it's not sending to these people. Is everything configured right in the back end, right? It's the same thing. But I
Yeah.
think this must be one of our superpowers
Yeah.
because like you said, we've paid people to do things for us, the expert, right? Quote unquote
Yeah.
expert. And this has been my whole life. Oh, well, this guy, this is what he does for a living, or this person, this is what they do for a living, so they must be really good at it. And then you pay them and you go, well, that shit didn't work. It
Yeah.
still
She
doesn't work.
still doesn't effing
It
work.
still
I
doesn't work,
mean,
but now I've paid this person, so now I'm pissed off. Forget that. I'm just going to figure it out myself. Just
yeah.
going to figure it out myself. I'm a smart person. I can think. I can use my brain, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and really, okay, the whole reason why we even got started on this conversation was because I think it was yesterday. I was looking on my phone. We were sitting somewhere and I was just like browsing on my phone. We were probably waiting. We were probably at a practice or something, sitting with our kids. And in one of the like parent groups for the school or the district or whatever, somebody was saying, asking about like the zeros or if something's not in yet because they have a system with their kids where if they're getting below a B, their electronics get taken away. So they want to make sure that their kids are staying on top of their stuff. I love the idea of this. Yes, teaching our kids that they need to be accountable. I'm all for that. And I'm not picking on any parenting by any means, but I definitely have a different philosophy. Because so our kids have, and they have it, I think, in all the schools now where parents can log in and see what kids are getting graded on assignments, if they have any missing work, blah, blah, blah. Guess what? The kids are on their Chromebooks and have access to this every single day. Guess who's not checking their kids' shit? Weekly, monthly. I don't check it. Ryan doesn't even know how to log in, first of all.
I'm not a
I
computer guy.
Ryan, like I manage all of our kids' apps, schedules, all that stuff. That's my kind of like role anyways, I don't do this with our kids because I went to school. I got good grades. I graduated. I went to college. I got my degree. I did that. My parents didn't do that for me. My parents didn't have to remind me that I had assignments due. There was times where I was like, "Oh shit, I forgot about this," because I was busy playing sports and I had a boyfriend in high school and had friends and I was doing all the things that all the kids do, right? I was a busy teenager just like anybody else. But so if something like that would happen, I'd be like, "Oh crap, mom, I forgot. I need this." Like my mom would always step in and be like, "Okay, what do you need? Do we need to go to the store?" Like my mom wasn't like, "Fuck you, figure it out." And I'm not that way either. But the basic responsibility of completing your work, knowing what you need to have done, getting a good grade on it, being prepared, that is my children's responsibility because it is their thing that they're doing right now. I'm not going to school. They are. They need to learn how to talk to their teacher. And they're also not like 5-year-olds, for goodness sake, where the parents need to step in and advocate and be like, I was involved at that age too. But now I'm like, Ava's an eighth grader, Rory's a fifth grader. I asked Rory the other day, I said, "Do you check your Skyward?" "Yeah." "Would you know if you had any missing assignments?" "Yeah." "How are your grades?" They're pretty good." "Great." That's all I need to know. I will talk to my kids and they can report back to me because they need to know the information, not me. And I think that we are going back to this resourcefulness. I think that parents, and I think it's from a good place, I think they are so afraid of their children failing that they are doing everything and they can't because they're like, "No, no, no, we get straight A's. We want to be prepared for the test, blah, 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 blah." Guess what? Ava, I think, forgot she had a test the other day, took the test, didn't do great on it. I go, "Okay, what are you going to do? Can you retake it?" "Yeah." "What do you have to do to be able to retake it?" "I have to go to tutorials." "Great." And then I forgot about it. She knew what she needed to do. And then I think a week later, I go, "Hey, did you ever redo that math test?" "Yeah, I did. I went in because you guys took me early. I went to the tutorials and I retook my test and I got a B on it." "Great. Good job. Way to freaking figure it out." So I don't give a shit that she didn't get a good grade on the test. I don't care if she didn't ace the retake, like whatever. But did she know what she needed to do to figure it out to get the result that she wanted? That is the skill that I want my kid to learn. I don't give a shit if they know history. Like, I really don't care. Like, whatever. But are you building are you using school to build the skills that are going to serve you in life? And if their mommy and daddy are taking that part over, the kids are never going to learn the skills. Now that is what I have a problem with. And so, and I think people, they don't even know they're doing it. I don't think these parents know that they're doing it. I think they think they're loving their children. I think they think they're helping their children. Um, I'm Ava, our daughter, we have had to teach her from a very young age to advocate for herself because she wears hearing aids. So not everything sounds like clear to her. Sometimes she doesn't know what's going on, because whatever, but we have had to teach her from the time she was little. Well, you need to ask, you need to confirm, you need to figure it out. So we've had to teach her from a young age to really advocate and be resourceful. And it served her well. She's been through some tough stuff, but that girl freaking figures it out.
Mm-hmm.
She is gritty, you know?
She's greedy. She's a
She's
dog.
gritty. She's a dog. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're so proud of her. But the thing is she is going to be an adult someday. She will probably be a wife and a mother someday. And I don't want her to have to figure this shit out in her 20s because we didn't let her figure it out when she was a teenager, you know? And I think that parents have good intentions. I really do. I think they're trying to just help their kids and make sure they don't fail. But guess what? People need to fail. And I've always said that when you can fail when you're at a young age and fail at the little stuff, it makes it easier when you get older to not fail at the big stuff because you learned it already. You learned the
Mm-hmm.
skill.
Yeah, and
So,
Rory, for example, things really come easily to him. He's kind of a natural at everything.
mhm.
So it comes a lot easier. So we have different challenges with him. We have to tell him to advocate for himself in a different way because it's like if he doesn't know anything, he doesn't like to ask for help because he thinks it makes him
Makes,
feel stupid, makes him
yeah,
feel like he doesn't know what he's doing. So we have to, but the process, the idea is the same. It's like you need to figure this stuff out for yourself. Like we'll
yeah,
help guide you, but we're not going to do things for you. And
yeah,
don't get me wrong, I still tie his football cleat shoelaces. Okay.
yeah,
But we're trying to teach our kid. We're not trying to teach our kids to be great kids. We're trying to teach our kids to be successful,
adults.
thoughtful adults. Right. And
Yeah,
this is what we've always told them. Like, listen, our job is to help guide you to be a great, responsible, successful, like good adult.
yeah. Well, and like for example, with this a story, like a real-time story with Rory with school. Because school is the thing is, like I've said, I think school has its purpose, but not in the way that most people probably think that they see school. I see school in a very different way. I think it's great to learn social skills. I think it's great to learn time management, to do things you don't want to do because that is a life skill that you have to, life's not going to be great all the time. But Rory, the other day, he did this project, and Ava always did things very neat, exactly following the directions, whatever. Rory, sometimes he doesn't want to put a lot of effort into it, but we are teaching him effort. We're teaching him work ethic. That's Ava, we never had to teach that to because she just has that like
She's
built
a
in
dog.
because I think she already has this obstacle she has to overcome. So she's kind of got that built into her in a different way. Where Rory, like Ryan said, very natural at things come easier. So we got to teach him, like, no, sometimes you got to work at stuff. So he did this project, and he was supposed to have like a little scale on it, like because they were doing like a room and he had to have a thing. Well, the way he did it, it wasn't super clear, but he did do it. And he's like, he was so proud of himself because he was like, I worked hard at this. I followed the directions. I really paid attention. And then he was like, but my teacher marked me a 0 on this one part. So I got a 75%. And I go, well, what did she mark you a 0 on? Let's look at it together. And so we look at it and I go, okay, well, it says that you didn't have a scale. And he goes, but I do, it's right there. I go, okay, as an adult, I could see where maybe she didn't see that clearly. I said, but you did follow directions. And here's where I think we could go two different ways. There are some parents out there that would get right on the horn to the teacher and be like, you graded this wrong. This shouldn't be a 0. He very clearly had it here. They'd be sending pictures and the parents would take care of it for the kid. And there's been cases where I've stepped in with my kids, not on stuff like this, but there's been other cases. So I see a point in that. But I said, okay, what I want you to do is I want you to take this into the teacher tomorrow and I want you to show her, hey, look at this. I did do it, blah, blah, blah. Did I email the teacher? Yes, I did. I said, hey, I just want to let you know the situation, a little clarity on the back end, because I'm a big communicator, because I think that most things get messed up because there's not clear communication. So I said, Rory, this is what happened. I told him to bring this back to you tomorrow and show you and ask you about it to see if he could get credit. We are not attached to what you decide. I just wanted to let you know he didn't fix it after he brought it home. It was done. So, like, just letting you know, it's not like he's trying to cheat or anything like that, but we're not attached to your decision. But we did tell him to come advocate for himself and talk to you, because that's what we are trying to teach our children. And she was like, great. Thank you. Like, because I'm always like, hey, teacher, it's your classroom. It's your decision. I'm not going to fight you on the decisions that you make, but this is what's going on, which I also think that's important. But anyways, and he took it back in and he brought it home, and he was so proud of himself because he went and had a conversation with an adult, which is scary. We have to remember that it's scary for kids to go approach adults and advocate for something, because you never know how they're going to react. And he got full credit and he was so proud. And so what we did with that is we instilled the belief that you always ask for what you want, you always advocate for yourself, but you don't be attached to the outcome. Because we told him, we go, she might not change your grade, and you have to accept that, but you have to at least try. Okay. So that was a long story, but I think there's a lot of nuggets in there. And I see this as adults. People are afraid to ask their boss for what they
Mm-hmm.
want. They're afraid to say, no, that's not okay with me. No, I'm not working on Sunday. I'm case in point of a lot of that stuff. I've sacrificed a lot of my time and boundaries for jobs and success and what I thought somebody wanted me to do. But I've had to really learn in the last couple of years to advocate for myself and go, I'm not doing that, and being okay if somebody's not like doesn't like my choice, you know? So, we're trying to teach these lessons that we've had to learn later in adult life, right, teach them to our kids at a young age, so maybe they don't have to struggle like we did at certain things. They'll have other things, I'm sure.
Yeah, there's always something. But I think that's important. You said it a second ago. The things we're trying to teach our kids now, we see adults that haven't been taught that stuff. And so
Yeah,
it makes things much more challenging. Like
yeah.
whether you're in business or whether you're just, whether you're an employee or, whatever, whether you're in a relationship, like all this stuff.
Friendships.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. It's so anyways, I guess the other thing where I told a bunch of dads this at the ball field the other day. Because we are on the sidelines a lot. We definitely have sideline coached our kids. Guilty, just like everybody else. And but I hear people, Ryan and I both played sports too. And my parents, when I was older, they didn't go to my practices. They dropped me off, they picked me up. They weren't there correcting me in my form and whatever. And I hear these parents, and they literally, it's like the kid can't do one fucking thing without their parents commenting on it. It's like, maybe just shut the fuck up and let the kid play the sport. But I think we as adults, once again, we don't want our kids to fail. We want to correct them. We want them to be good. We also live in an incredibly competitive area. Um, and there's a lot of competition here. There's a lot of kids who are really athletic, and it can be tough because you want your kids to succeed. You want them to make the team. But I told these dads the other day, I go, I think we have too much correction. I think we're correcting our kids way too much. We need to let them fail. We need to let their coach them. We need to let them maybe try it a few times and figure it out. And I was kind of proud of Ryan, actually, because Rory, they were doing batting practice with the pitching machine. First time he gets up, smokes it. Like his first turn, smoking just every pitch, just nailing it. Get like gonna do it again at the end of practice. He's like, oh yeah, if you want to take another turn, go for it. Rory gets in there, smokes a couple of them, and then just misses. We know the kid can hit. The kid hits bombs. But for some reason, and Ryan goes, do you know what you're doing wrong? Do you know what you need to fix? And he goes, yeah. He goes, then fix it. Because that's the thing. It's like, we're not like, hey, your hands are dropping. Hey, you're not turning your hips. Hey, you're taking your eye off the ball. Hey, you're this. Hey, you're that. Hey, sometimes we do, because it's like, hey, dude, you're not watching the ball. Okay, got it. But it's like, fuck, just let the kids figure it out. He knows he's not hitting the ball. He wants to hit the ball. He's had plenty of coaching to know probably what's going on here or what he needs to try to fix. But I just think, parents, it's like even, and I like this dad a lot, but the other day his son gets up for warm-ups to pitch, throws one pitch, the first pitch in warm-ups. We don't even have a batter yet. And he's already chirping at him. Change this, do this, bring your arm through, release higher. It's like, fuck, he's gonna figure it out. Or he's not. What's so bad? What's gonna happen? It's like we have to let our kids figure shit out. Why are adults, what is this? Is this ego, Rye? Like, what is this?
I think it's all, well, with sports, it could very well be ego. I think it's all with love, right? Because in
It's best
my,
of intentions. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, all of us really love our kids and we want them to be really good. We want them to be that, the girl that scores the goal or the kid that, puts
Yeah.
a tag on at home, and saves the game or whatever, right? We all want that because it's fun. I think we have a little bit of ego attached to it because it's like, that's my boy or that's my girl. So I think there is that, but I think it's all in love. But I think what's extremely important about sports that I think is good is learning how to lose. Because in life, there is a lot of losing, right? There's a
Yeah.
lot of losing. It's like,
A lot of setbacks.
yeah, it's like, oh, I crashed the car, or I yelled at my wife, or I didn't close that sale, and it should have been, and then it went to this other company, and now I look like, there's so much in life that's
Yeah.
losing, right? I mean, it's kind of like baseball, right? The analogy there is like, if you only strike out 7 out of 10 times in your career, you're going to be a Hall of Famer, right?
Yeah.
So we kind of have to factor that into be a good loser. Like learn, and it doesn't mean like not going over there and saying, hey, good game, good game, good game. It's not that. It's not sportsmanship, right? That's sportsmanship. It's okay. I didn't do very good at that. I'm going to see the common theme here, right? Think about what I did wrong. Ask someone who I respect that knows how to do what I can't do right now. I'm going to ask them, what should I do? And then I'm going to work at getting better because I don't like losing. Man, I
Yeah. And I'm
hate
going to try
losing.
again, and I'm going to come back and try
Gosh dang
again.
it, I hate losing. But I really like winning. And I'm going to come
Yeah.
back and I'm going to fix what I didn't do and I'm going to win. And I'm going to
And the
keep
thing,
trying.
that's what I was going to say. Stay in the game.
Stay in.
Stay in the game. So many people, it's like they get thrown off by not winning right away, or not succeeding, not having success, that they're like, it must not work. No, you gotta freaking pivot. You gotta change your method. You gotta try again. And that's the thing is, some days, like keeping with the sports analogy, you might go out there and play the best game you've ever had, and the other team is still better than you. That happens too. And, our daughter had a soccer game the other day, did not go well. And I go, well, she's like, well, our team maybe just isn't good. And I go, no, it's not that your team's not good. I said, the other team outplayed you today. They were better than you today. But, it's not to say that in a couple weeks, they might not still be able to come back, and the other team might still be better, but maybe not as much better. Or maybe they aren't as good that day. It's like there's just so many variables. And so I think that the main themes, as we're kind of wrapping this up today, that I would say is, if you run into something that you don't know, try to figure it out first. If you can't figure it out, go talk to somebody who does know how to figure it out and get advice from them. And be okay with not just being the best right off the bat, or like tying in that stuff with, like, what are we teaching our kids? We as adults need to build that skill, but we also really need to be making sure that we're transferring that skill to our children, because this one skill that Ryan and I are talking about today has made us millions of dollars, because this skill has attributed to every single paycheck we've ever earned. Every raise I've ever gotten, it's because I was more resourceful. It's because I was a harder worker. It's because I could figure things out. I made people's lives easier by being a part of the company. Always. I always get in everywhere and go, how can I make this better? And that is also why our company today, why our clients love us, because they're like, I have my energy back. I love my business. I like my staff. They're learning how to be resourceful and work together. So it's really powerful what we actually do as a company today, is because we've taken this skill and we bring it into other companies, and we fix things, and we fix systems, and we help people learn this skill. And I think that's what why we love what we get to do, because we're really good at it, you know?
Yeah, I want to say the last sports analogy. Tom Brady won 7 Super Bowls, right? He's arguably, and I'm not going to argue that, but he's arguably the best quarterback ever in the history of the game. Okay. And I have, that being said, it wasn't in his first 7 seasons. He didn't win first season, Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl. You know what I mean? So the only way you're going to lose is if you quit. So keep going. And I like how Brittney a second ago put that in order. Try to figure it out yourself. That's the resourcefulness. Try to figure it out. If you can't figure it out and you've exhausted every single possibility, ask somebody that knows.
Yeah. Yeah. And then remember it for next time.
And then learn. And then pretty soon, right?
Learn.
Pretty soon, like all the things I know about trucking and engines and all that stuff over the year, I didn't know it at 18. I know it now.
Yeah.
So you eventually turn into the person that knows a lot of stuff, right? Like
Yeah.
Brittany's dad, he knows a lot, right? And I learned a lot of stuff from Jim, but he didn't know it when he was 16.
Mm-mm. That's the thing I would say too. I don't know how many young people listen to this and pay attention to what we're doing, but I work with a lot of young people on teams, because a lot of people in the graphic space and design space and technology, they're younger, right? Do not think you know it all. Like, I think there's something also too to these younger generations. Me and Cassie, our partner, were talking about this. She's 1 year younger than me. And I was like, I don't think I was ever the young, arrogant person that thought I knew everything in a company. I was like, I wanted to learn. I was willing to offer ideas, but never overstep and act like I knew everything. But I always paid attention and wanted to learn. And so if you're young, like, and I mean like under 30, you know, learn, be
Mm-hmm.
open, ask a lot of questions. Like that decade of your life from 20 to 30 is when you should really be getting this skill figured out and learning. Don't let your ego overtake you and think that you're going to prove how much you know and that everybody's going to think you're smart. If you're acting like that, everybody thinks you're fucking annoying. Like, for real. Everybody
Mm-hmm.
thinks you're annoying. They want to put you in your place, but they're trying not to. And just learn and ask questions.
Mm-hmm.
And then do your job. Like, do what you are there to do, but pick up all the knowledge you can along the way.
Mm-hmm.
That would be one of my biggest pieces of advice. But anyway,
For sure. Because I was,
yeah,
and Brittany and I are huge on young people, right? We love young
love
people.
them.
They have so
Yeah.
much energy. They have so many ideas.
So smart.
But like Brittany said, that like don't be arrogant, right? Because Brittany and I both were young people, probably leading much older people than us, just because of how we
Yeah.
were. But it wasn't arrogance. It was like, hey, I want to do a great job. I'm hungry. I want to learn. I want to understand. I want to know.
Yeah.
So we love working with young people.
Yeah. That's probably a whole nother podcast. We might have one on that, actually. Go check it out. All right, you guys, thank you so much for listening today. We try to drop these weekly, but definitely every other week. We're trying to be more consistent about it, but always check back at our Revenue Agency podcast. And if you like what we're talking about, subscribe, share. That's one of the best things you can do. And if you're in the business space and you're like, I need somebody to help me figure it out, just go to our website, therevenueagency.com, and contact us. Have a great day. We'll talk to you later.